So I debated about doing this video so soon because I was like, oh, you're probably not emotionally equipped to really talk about this yet. And the truth of the matter is, I actually am in the I have to survive this stage of what I'm going through, which doesn't really allow for a lot of emotions. So I honestly think this might be the best time to talk to you about this, because in a couple of weeks or months, I'm not really sure where I'm going to be emotionally. Also, I know that a lot of you are used to seeing specific kind of content on this channel and a certain schedule of sorts, and I'm not really sure what that's going to look like in the future, and I wanted to just make sure you knew what was going on and kind of what to expect, or maybe even what not to expect at this point. I am was pregnant. I'm in the process of taking chemotherapy at the moment to terminate my pregnancy. This is a world I didn't even know really truly existed. So I'm still a little bit overwhelmed and truly traumatized at what I'm having to walk through right now. Matt and I went in for our first ultrasound last week, and my my fertility doctor was concerned. She thought that the baby looked like it had implanted in a pretty dangerous spot. A lot of times, ectopic pregnancies you've heard of probably, where the baby implants in the fallopian tube. My case was not that easy to diagnose, so she called in a specialist who came in to see me that day. He scanned me for about 90 minutes, and because of how difficult my uterus is, I have, a lot of you know, a ton of fibroids in the muscle of my uterus, and they take up a lot of room, and they're difficult and clunky to kind of look around. It was very, very difficult for all of these people to be able to see and confirm that this pregnancy was in fact a corneal pregnancy, which is a type of ectopic pregnancy. What makes this so difficult is that this is, if it was in fact a corneal pregnancy, it is very, very dangerous. It is life-threatening if it isn't treated immediately. But also my team didn't want to terminate because I seemingly was going to have a healthy pregnancy. We had a heartbeat. They didn't want to terminate unless they knew for sure that this is what we were seeing. There's another type of pregnancy, it's called angular pregnancy, which is a viable pregnancy. It's similar to corneal, it's just a little bit further closer to the uterus, which could still be viable. So there was a 24-hour time span where they're like, it could be viable, it could be life-threatening, we're not really sure. And when you have specialists and very smart, experienced people looking at you and going, I'm not really sure, you feel this huge terror run through your body, because you're like, I have to be the one to make the decision, life or death for myself, or life or death for my baby. And so that is if you've ever wanted to really go through some emotional mind twists, just contemplate that for a moment, because it was pretty horrifying for a while to figure out whether or not I was going to have to make that decision on my own. My specialist talked to 2 other specialists, and my fertility doctor talked to her entire physician team. Apparently they spent hours trying to figure this out because it was very, very difficult. And they all determined that this was a corneal pregnancy, that I would have to start chemotherapy immediately and pray that I don't have to go into surgery, which would be major surgery. They'd cut me open, they'd go in and cut the tube, take the baby out. which not only is very risky, very dangerous, very bloody, it for sure would probably change a little bit of my fertility situation. I already only have one tube open at the current time. So we were really hoping, and are still really hoping, that I don't have to go into surgery. I have completed 2 rounds of chemotherapy as of today. I just went to get my blood drawn, and hopefully my HCG beta numbers, which are the growth hormones that your body produces to sustain a pregnancy, I'm praying that my numbers drop significantly, because if they don't drop, then we will have to do surgery. Unfortunately, my pregnancy was going very, very well, and I had very, very high numbers, a little bit higher than what they typically want to see, than what typically chemo can even fix, I guess. So I'm still not out of the dark right now. I don't know if next week I'll be in surgery. If that's the case, I probably will be gone for 6 to 8 weeks. If not, I probably will have to do several more rounds of chemo, because my hormone levels are so very high. I've been very sick, very sick. I had one moment the first night after my first treatment where I definitely thought I was gonna die. I couldn't speak, I couldn't move. I was in the bathroom alone, and I just kept thinking to myself, okay, how do I position myself so that if Matt finds me here, it won't be traumatizing for him? So it's been very difficult. It's made me really sick, and I've got mouth sores. I'm losing a lot of chest hair, which is a very specific thing. I might lose some of my actual hair, not the worst thing in the world. It's really just the sickness that's been really, really hard, and the headaches and just all of it. So I'm praying that, as much as it sucks to be taking such a powerful, quite toxic medication, I'm praying that it works. And I'm grateful that I even have the option, because I really don't want to have a surgery for many reasons, on top of the fact that we're in a pandemic and the hospitals are full to the brim with sick people. When I found out that I was pregnant, I immediately started bulk shooting video ideas, because the last time I was pregnant, I was very ill and I couldn't get off the couch. So I bulk shot a ton of content preparing for my first trimester. So I'm grateful that I will have some content going up, I think. That is assuming that I'm at home and I can edit. So you will see content, and it will seem as if nothing happened. I also have a couple of branded videos coming up that I was excited about. One I have to put on pause for this. So all of that to say, I don't know. I just don't know. I'm also on a very, very particular diet, and I can't eat pretty much anything. The only thing I can't eat is like French fries, which isn't the worst, I guess, but I don't know if I can do food videos in the future. I have no idea. And I don't feel like I'm telling you this because I owe you anything. I know this is my life, and you know, you're a part of it, but I still have my own personal life. But I love my job. This is my job, and I love you guys. I love creating content. It really brings me the most joy, and I'm gonna do my very best to create content as soon as I can. And if everything goes well, that might be 2 weeks from now. If I have to end up having surgery, then I might be out for 6 weeks, 8 weeks. I don't know. I'm just really focused right now on taking care of myself and making sure that I'm safe and that I'm okay. And I'm just checking boxes right now. Once this is all over, I will have a lot to process emotionally. Right now I'm devastated, but I'm very angry and I'm very shocked. I couldn't have even imagined this is a journey that anyone would go down. I just didn't even know this would be a thing. You know, it's really hard when you're not asking God, like, why can't I have just a normal pregnancy, God? But you're like, why can't I just have a normal miscarriage? I've been through so much. You guys know, 17 hours of labor on a medication that I ended up having to take 2 more times, and ultimately had to have surgery because it didn't finish my last pregnancy. Now I'm doing chemo to end this pregnancy where it's probably like ruining my tube. I don't understand. I don't really understand all of this. So I have a lot to process. I have a lot to go through. So if you've been through something like this, please let me know in the comments what helped you. YouTube has been such a lifeline for me to help me learn what to expect, how to get through this with less pain. And if you have any tips or tricks, I have an ice pack for my head for hair loss. I have a mouthwash you guys suggested for my mouth sores, and I don't know that I would be able to survive in my life without the help of this internet family that has just been so good to me. So if you have any tips or tricks or thoughts or whatever, just let me know in the comments. I don't really know how to end this video because I don't really know how this story is going to end. For now, this will probably be all you'll hear about it for a while. I'm going to do my best to bring my best to the channel when I feel my best. And that's all I know for now. So thank you guys. I'll see you hopefully on the other side of this thing.